Hi everyone. I'm not going to start for another couple of minutes, but welcome to my live stream about Deno. We're literally going to start from the ground up. I don't know if I even have Deno installed right now, but we'll start from the ground up and build an entire server-side rendered React application, and hopefully I'll be able to figure out how to get hydration in there as well. So it should be fun. I'm excited. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the live chat. That's the only place I'm going to be looking at questions as I go through this, and I'd be happy to answer any of your questions as I go through. Just want to give a sense for what it takes to get up and running with Deno if you're only familiar with Node and JavaScript in general. And also I'm interested in seeing how Deno works as a more front-end based tool rather than just as a script runner or something for backends or whatnot. So it'll be really interesting. Yeah, I suppose in this minute before I actually get started at 1 o'clock, I could say, well, I'll just hang tight for a sec. Cool. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a front-end web developer. I've been doing JavaScript for like 4 or 5 years now or something. I don't know. I work at a company called Instructure, and I'm really excited about Deno, and I really want to see how it works and how easy it is to get started on it, and especially how easy it is to get React server-side rendering set up. So that's what I'm going to do today. I don't know if I have Deno installed at all, and I haven't really done anything with it yet. And I'm relatively familiar with React server-side rendering, but I'm going to be looking up a lot of documentation, talking myself through this. This is definitely like a muddle-through type live stream. I am not well prepared. I have a couple of notes of things that I want to address during this live stream, but it's mostly just going to be me hacking on code trying to get it to work. So let's get started. I'm going to come over here to my handy-dandy web browser. Oh, it's open on my other monitor. And we're just going to go to Denoland. And if you haven't looked at any of this, or especially the V1 blog post that they put out yesterday, it's really interesting, gives a good idea of why they made it and what's different and good about it. So I'm just going to start with the install instructions here, and it just says use your shell or use homebrew. So I'm going to start with that. So we'll just do brew install Deno. Maybe I should have used the shell because now it's going to say updating brew or whatever. That'll take forever. I wonder if I could do both of them at the same time. Would that be a terrible idea? I'm not going to do that. We'll just have to wait for homebrew. In the meantime, if you want to ask any questions during this live stream, go ahead and throw them in the YouTube live chat, and I'd be happy to address them as we go. And if you don't have any questions, just feel free to introduce yourself. I'd be happy to know who's watching right now. So yeah, looks like it's almost done. Install, install, install. And we're done. So now I should be able to run this program. One of the cool things about Deno is the fact that you can run programs from anywhere on the web. It's kind of like a web browser, but in the command line, which is awesome. Oh, I could make the terminal bigger. Yeah, sorry about that. My code editor is nice and big, but I forgot to do it for the terminal. So let's do this. It downloads it, it compiles it, and it just gives you that nice little message, which is cute. Cool. And then we have this more complex one, which it looks like it sets up an HTTP server for you. So I'm actually going to take this and throw it into our little I have a little Deno test folder here, and I'm just going to create a little HTTP demo, and we'll do it in TypeScript because TypeScript is cool, right? Except, oh, interesting. So I'm getting some VS Code errors here. It's complaining about this import path. It's also complaining about doing this await, which I guess this is a top level await. I don't know if why it's complaining about that. I'm just going to save this and see what happens if I try and run it. So I save it, come back over to my terminal, and where did I put that folder? It's in my desktop. And then I can just run Deno http demo.ts. It's going to complain. Oh, maybe I've got to do Deno run. So it looks like it's downloading a whole bunch of stuff here. All of these standard library things that I'm going to need to run this. And it complains because I don't have network access. So that's another cool thing about Deno, is the fact that it requires you to explicitly give permissions for the things that you want. Everything runs in a sandbox. So that makes sure that you actually are safe. So what I can do is do the same command, but do allow net, which gives me network access. It gives me the flag right there that I need to run. Oh, guess I need to put that immediately after run, maybe. And there we go. So it gives me this lovely HTTP address and says hello world. So that was really easy. Just copied and pasted the code. It downloaded all the dependencies automatically and gave me this little HTTP server, which is super handy. So let's take a look here. I am not entirely sure where it put those dependencies, so I'm going to find that out. It is interesting that it automatically knew to grab all of these dependencies when over here the only dependency that I referenced was this one here, which is coming from the Denoland, I don't know what you'd call that, their module repository for their standard library. So yeah, someone in the chat said that it looks like VS Code syntax checker is unaware of the Deno language differences. That's probably the case. I bet that there's a Deno VS Code extension. I'll take a look for it, which I already have installed. So I don't know. Maybe I'm using the wrong one. Yeah, tough to say which one's the right one. Just try both. I'll install both. Maybe this one. This one's disabled. So I'll install this one, see what happens. That looks like it works. Oh, nope. Still complaining. So I'll just disable this one and re-enable this one and see what happens. Reloading, reloading. While that's reloading, I'm going to keep searching for where these files all got saved. So I'm pretty sure that there is a deno-dir directory environment variable. Let's come here and actually do a little search. We'll go to the manual, and I don't know that the search is actually working. Yeah, it's not working, but hopefully I should be able to find it. Like if I look here, I've got linking to external code, and it says that there's a special directory, and it tells you where it's supposed to be. So it looks like it's in the library caches Deno, and then if something fails, it falls back to home.deno. So I'm just going to open up library caches Deno and see what we got there. So it gives us these files here, which I can't preview for whatever reason, and it's got some generated files here, and it's got my dependencies here that it's pulling in. So they just live in this folder. It takes care of it for me, and it's just entirely based on this URL. Excuse me, this URL here. I would try turning off my Wi-Fi and see if it'll still run just with these dependencies, even though it doesn't have a network connection to download and check or whatever. But that would stop the live stream, so I'm not going to do that. but I should be able to run this. When I ran it the first time, it did this compile and download stuff. If I run it this time, it doesn't even do the compile and download. It's smart enough to know that I haven't changed my code at all. So that's cool. Yeah, I would check out this frequently asked questions here in the linking to external code section of the Denoland website, because it's got a lot of really good answers to questions, such as if Denoland goes down, then the dependencies are still going to be stored locally, so it'll only be a problem if you blow those away for whatever reason. It looks like you can use a lock file. You can import specific versions, and it's going to use whatever version you specifically asked for. And then it looks like there's a convention where instead of just importing URLs everywhere, you have a deps.ts file, which just sits in the root of your Deno program, and you import all of the things that you want to use from there, and then export them from it directly. So instead of accessing the URL, you're going to be accessing the stuff inside of that folder. It kind of serves like package.json for Deno. As far as transitive dependencies, it looks like it's smart enough to know which specific dependencies I need based on the way that I'm importing it. So let's do a quick example. I'm gonna yeah, it's dangerous for me to type rmrf and then my home directory without, got to be careful. I'm going to get rid of my Deno cache entirely, start from scratch, and I'm just going to test something. I'm going to go to the, I don't know where to find stuff that's in the standard library, so I'm just going to paste this in and see what happens. So this gives me the entire standard library, and if I want to get, say, there's one just for creating UUIDs. Here it is. And there's the v4. So I'm just going to try doing this import v4 from there and see if it downloads the entire file or just the v4 file for like code splitting or whatever you want to call it, if it's intelligent enough to just download what it needs. So let's come back over here, have a UUID demo.ts, and I'm just going to import v4 and then console.log v4 and v4.generate. And we'll see what it actually outputs. So Deno UID demo. Oh, I always forget Deno run. And it looks like it is downloading the entire module here. I'm only using v4, and I suppose I should actually look at the file and see what it does. So it's grabbing this common thing here. So you can do relative imports. You don't have to do everything from URLs. So you can have multiple modules in the same project. But it does look like it is downloading v1 and v5 and everything else, even though I'm not specifically asking for it. So just something to be aware of. Not necessarily a huge problem if you're working with server code, and I don't know how any of this applies to client code. That seems like a good time to segue into setting up React with this. So I'm gonna use unpackage for it, just because I know that there is an ES. So Deno supports anything that is ES modules, and there is an ES module build of React in that I can grab off of unpackage. So I'm pretty sure ES React like that, and that seems to work just fine. So we'll give that a shot, and then I think I'm also going to need ES React DOM. No, it's not there. Yeah, so that is one of the cool things. If you have like an ES modules, or sorry, ES modules version of a package that's just hanging out in NPM that doesn't have any node dependencies or use any node APIs, then you can just use it in Deno without any problem. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure that's the way it'll That's the way it works. So yeah, it looks like there's this nice little demo here that I can use. So I'm just going to grab all of this. Oh, and come over here. And I'm actually going to create a React demo folder. And in there, I'm going to have my app tsx, and I'm also going to have a browser.tsx file. Yeah. So the way that this is going to work is index is going to be my main entry point for the server. I'm going to be running an HTTP server that's going to run React DOM server, that's going to take my React app and turn it into just HTML markup. It's also going to statically serve my React file, my browser file. That's going to be running in the browser. It's going to hydrate my React app, and then app itself is the React app. So we'll start in browser since that's what I have here. We have our unpackage ES React that should just work. And I'm not going to use React Create Element because Deno supports JSX right out of the box. What I am going to do is render app here. And I'm going to import app from /app. That'll work just fine because Deno supports relative imports. And that's all that I need for, no, that's not all I need for browser. I need to do a hydrate instead of doing React DOM.render. So let me look up the docs for that. It's been a little while. So I have my React element and then my container. That's all I have to do. So just because I'm a little crazy, we are going to directly hydrate document.body. All I have to do is just change this to hydrate, and we're good to go. Awesome. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the live chat in YouTube. Let's build my app really quick. So I'm pretty sure that I still need to do the same import React rigmarole here. I don't need all of that. Just need React so that I can properly use JSX. And then I have my React component, which I'll call app. In fact, I can even do fancy type checking because it's TypeScript. Deno does support JavaScript. It's running V8 under the hood, which is the same as Node, except it has a it uses Rust bindings instead of C++ bindings, but it's still just V8. So in order to do the TypeScript stuff, it's running your code, your TypeScript code through the TypeScript compiler and outputting JavaScript that you can just use with V8. So that's cool. For now, I am just going to return an H1 that says hello world, but we're not going to do anything fancy with it yet. We'll do something fancy later. Have a little emoji there. Okay, and then we have our index.ts. I'm actually just going to copy our HTTP demo here, since that's what I want, is to serve this guy, and then come back here. So this might take me a little while to figure out how to do properly, because what I want to do is have multiple routes, and I suppose I would just do that in here. So one very important difference between Node and Deno is the fact that Deno is entirely promises and async await based, whereas Node is primarily event emitters and stream based. So here, this might look like some kind of funky syntax, how it's doing this for await const rec of s, but that's just the way that you do it in a promise and async world, is you're just awaiting for anytime anything that happens with this rec object that we've got here coming from our server s. So rec is going to have a couple of things on it. I don't know that I have good IntelliSense for it because plugins. So let's take a look at the actual docs. Seems like a good plan, right? So this is coming from standard library HTTP right there. And there's a file server example here as well. And can do cookies. That's cool. But it doesn't give me a whole lot of documentation here, which is fine. I can figure it out. Let's take a look at this file server. That's the cool thing, is since everything is just a program that I'm just downloading, all I have to do is just pull it up and I can read it. So they're doing a bunch of stuff with Deno here. Oh, interesting. So they are serving up straight up HTML here. It looks like this is what's powering this file viewer here, because they've got this nice markup here that they're using. But I could be mistaken. And yeah, I don't know if this has any exports that I can use. I can't see any exports just hanging. Oh, there we go. We've got this serve file function. So it looks like I can use this serve file function to do my actual serving of files. Let's see how they use it in this. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is the serve directory function. So that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. But this does show me that the way that I serve the file is by just returning serve file with the request object from my server and the file path of the file that I want to serve. So that's cool. And then it's used one other place here in the main function. Let's see if I can get some information off of rec here. So it's got rec.url here. So I can just look at that to see what it's trying to serve. Yeah, awesome. I think this is everything that I need. I'm just going to copy some of these things. So it's using this pos, which helps me to normalize the URL. And it's grabbing that from this mod.ts, which I'm guessing is a path. Oh, it's coming from path. So I can just come over here. Whoop. Just come over here. And I'm going to import that not from /path, but instead from the standard library itself, like that. So that gives me my POSIX. And then down here, it was using that to get the normalized URL. And I guess it's also decoding URI component, but I'm not worried about that because I'm in control over my components. Oh, and I need to plop this guy in here. So that gives me the normalized URL, and then I can say if, well, let's actually just console log the normalized URL for now, just to see what it is, just for kicks. And I'm going to rerun my HTTP demo, downloads all of those dependencies again, runs it, and now I can go to localhost 8000, and it's going to output the URL here, hopefully. Maybe. Oh, wait, that's wrong. That was my HTTP demo. I want to do my React like that. Compiles. And do I not have a console log? I don't have a console log for the port that it's on, but it's still 8000. So we run that. And it looks for just slash and then favicon.ico. Who cares about favicon? But now I know when I do slash, that's when I want to render my React application. And then I can serve the file when it is looking for, say, bundle.js. So sorry for not narrating this. Okay, here's that. And then here I'm going to make this if else, and in this case I'll just return 404. And I don't know what I can respond with. I don't know the shape of that. Wouldn't it be nice if I had TypeScript types for this? It's just the VS Code tooling isn't there. That's the only reason it's not working for me right now. But should be able to figure out just fine. Just come back to HTTP and yeah, I don't know how I can respond. We'll just say code is 404, and hopefully that's correct. I don't know. Cool. So now let's let's render our React app. Actually, I know that here they've got some recipes down here, some examples. Yeah, they've got a file server. It doesn't look like they have any React stuff. Oh, and that's just using this file server that they have here, just directly. So, yeah. Let's see where I can find a React server that is ES module compliant. I'm not sure if I'm going to find it. Let's see what it says here. Yeah, this is just saying use React DOM server directly, but I don't know that I can actually use that in like just from unpackage. Let's try it just for kicks. So we'll go unpackage.com/react-server. That was right? React-dom/server. Just see what happens. Yeah, it's got that require there. That's no go. So hey, let's see if this has it. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't export React DOM server, which is a bummer. So I've got to try and find it somewhere else. Okay, I'll level with you guys. Someone's already done this. The guys at Begin have done all kinds of Deno stuff. They're really bully for it. So I'm just going to look at their blog because I know they did exactly what I'm looking for. I didn't want to cheat with this. I wanted to actually do it myself and have to find it, but I can't remember the URL for React DOM server in an ES module format. So begin.com. What a domain name, man. That's wild. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I want their blog. Yeah, thanks Google. Nice try. Let's see if that works. Here we go, serverless Deno support, and I'm pretty sure I could also throw React on there and it'll get me exactly what I'm looking for. So if you are super bored by watching me, just read this blog post. It'll tell you everything you need to know. All that I want is this guy right here. There it is. Dev JSPM IO React DOM/server. That's all that I need. So we can come back over here, plop that in there, and now, and I need to import my app from app. Oops. And now I can just do rec.respond with the body of React DOM server.render to string app, just like that. Let me double check with this to make sure that I'm rendering. Yeah, it's just the element that you pass in. So that should give me my application. I've got a whole bunch of messy stuff here, so let's play around with something. I'm just going to pull up my little terminal down here, and Deno actually has a format function built in. I'm just going to throw it at index.reactDemo index.ts. Boom! Look at that. Nice and formatted. That was nice. So yeah, let's give this a test really quick. Come back over here, close that, rerun it, and it looks like it cannot resolve the module for some reason. Why can't it resolve the module? Oh, it's because I don't have the file extension at the end. Deno requires file extensions because it's based off of ES modules. And it's still complaining. That's interesting. Why are you not able to detect it? Oh, it's TSX. Ah, silly Alex. Okay, so it just downloaded. Oh, it's given me a bunch of crap here. So it downloaded ES React and the React DOM server, and now it's freaking out because of a whole bunch of reasons, actually. It's complaining about the fact that there's no JSX intrinsic elements. Also, app has no default export. Did I really not do that? Man, rookie mistake, Alex. Okay, so there's that. It's also complaining. Oh, index needs to be a TSX file because I am executing JSX in here. So, oh, these red lines went away. That's nice. Can't find React, so I need to import React as well. And I want to import this from unpackage. Just like that. That's what I was doing here, right? Yeah, just like that. Oh. There we go. Okay, fewer complaints now. Yeah, I was wrong about the code here. Maybe it's status. I don't know. I could try and do it, but we'll just say that it returns a 200. I know that's bad HTTP, but I really don't care at this point. It's not what I'm here for. Okay, so it's complaining about JSX, and I don't know how to fix this. JSX intrinsic elements. Yeah, it's just not able to pull in the types for this right away, which is kind of a bummer. I suppose I could just turn it into a JS file, but that would be boring and lame, so maybe I'll try and come up with something else. Let's just let's just give it a quick Google just to see what Google says about this. Oh, come on. So here's this nice little error, and it's saying that I should install typing. Yeah, not super convenient. But hey, at least we know that TypeScript's working, right? That's nice. Yeah, this only is referencing prop types, not actual typing. Well, maybe I'll have to go back to that begin blog post, my cheat sheet. I really should just copied all of this verbatim and pasted it into my notes. Oh, and it's doing tsignore here, and in my actual app, it's declaring the namespace here. Yeah, so that's how it's able to get away with it. It's actually declaring the JSX namespace. So hopefully better tooling for this pops up in the future so that you can just use React with Deno. But for right now, we'll just pop that in there. Got to do it with H1. And I bet I could probably, well, I don't know. Let's just see what happens. And nothing happened because it's not console logging. But if I do this, oh, look at that. It's freaking out over my emoji there. But this is a honest to goodness server rendered React app. Take a look at our, yeah, you see data React root there, and it's passing it in. We're in good shape. Okay, so final thing that we need to do is actually hydrate the app with our browser file here. And it's right now a TSX file, and I want it to stay TSX. I want to actually have it be completely done in Deno. I don't want to have to do it and end in TypeScript. Fortunately, Deno does provide us with TypeScript compiler tools. So what I can do is actually compile the source code of browser.tsx into a regular TS file. And then the fact that I'm using the ES modules version of React means that I don't have to worry about Babel for anything else. It should just work. So that gets rid of all those errors. It looks like it's playing nicer with Deno right now, which is good. So what we need to do is get our code. Well, actually, I need to do one more thing up here, because all that this is doing is, I guess is it giving us everything? If I actually look at the network request, it's only giving us the H1. So I need to give it the all of the other markup as well. So I'm just going to copy that, and we will pull this part here out. And our body is actually going to be a tag template literal, just like this. And we will just interpolate our rendered body in like that. Do Deno format again. Oops. There we go. And then what I also need to do is add a script tag here for bundle.js. So I'll do that now. Script type equals module, source equals / bundle.js. And that should be all that I need to do in order to grab the bundle.js here. And then just for kicks, I'm just going to do rec.respond, have the body be alert hello. So we'll have just a little JavaScript alert happen when you load the page. So now it doesn't look like it's automatically reloading, which is fine. Maybe it did automatically reload, I don't know. But let's just do that, and then, oh. It does have the script tag running, and oh, but it's throwing an error saying, oh, interesting. A strict MIME type checking is enforced for module scripts per the HTML spec. How do you put a MIME type on a file like this? Is that a header? Suppose I need to put this header on for the response type. Give me just a second while I freshen up my MIME types. What header is it supposed to be? If you know what header the MIME type is supposed to go into, go ahead and chime in. Because I can't remember. Content type, that's right. So I should be able to maybe add headers here. I know that TypeScript will complain if I get this wrong, so that's nice. And then we'll just rerun this because it doesn't have automatic reloading. Oh, it's complaining. Content type does not exist in type headers. Interesting. Maybe it needs to be capitalized. Otherwise, I'll just go and look at it directly. Yeah. That's nice. It gives me the source code right here. I can just paste it into my browser and then go to the line that it says, which is 352. Oh, headers there. So let's find headers. Where is headers coming from? The headers type, that is. Is it? Did I miss it just completely? Oh well. here's what I can do. I'll go to my file server and just look at the headers that it uses. So it's instantiating a new headers, and I have to do headers.set. So let's do that. I'll grab the headers from, where am I grabbing headers from? Does it just exist? Is it magic? It's just magic, I guess. It doesn't appear anywhere up here. I have no idea where it comes from. So let's just give it a try, I guess. Come back over here. Say, oh, we're doing it down here. And then we'll do headers.set content type, and that's application.java/JavaScript. Headers is part of the web API. Oh, it's a global. That makes perfect sense. Deno tries to be completely compatible with the web API. And so if it's global in a browser, then it's going to be global in Deno. That's why I'm like so bullish about Deno for web developers, specifically for client apps, because it is completely compatible with web browsers. Oh, new headers. Silly Alex. Thank you to Jim for that answer. And it looks like it worked. So now if we reload this, oh, it says hello. So our script is working now. All we have to do is just compile our browser.tsx here and return that compiled file to our app in the body here. So let's do that. I have no idea how to access the fancy TypeScript stuff in Deno, but hopefully we can figure that out. It's probably going to be in the manual, maybe. Compiler APIs. Here we go. So we've got deno.compile, which I can just call, and it's going to give me diagnostics and an emit map. And I'm guessing, what's the emit map? I don't know. Oh, here we go. I want to use deno.bundle, which is like deno.compile. It runs it through the TypeScript compiler and Deno's compiler, but returns a single string, which is a self-contained JavaScript ES module. So that's cool. And then I can also do transpile only, which erases the types from the modules and emits JavaScript without doing any type checking. So what I can do here is do Deno bundle. It's going to give me the string that I want. So let's just grab that. I'll just grab all of this. And then what I could do is, yeah, we'll just give this a shot and see what happens. Yeah. So we'll come back over here. We've got our headers taken care of. We'll say that our body is going to be whatever the results of this emit function is. So I guess I don't need that. I can just call this body. Oop. And then this is going to be a local path to my browser.tsx file, and that should be all that I need there. And then I'm also going to do its assert diagnostics equals null here, and then I'm just gonna return the body like that. We'll see what happens. So let's restart that. And instead of reloading this, I'm actually going to just access the bundle.js first. And it refused to connect. It's freaking out for some reason. Oh, interesting. It says that it does not have access to the bundle property, bundle function, method, whatever you want to call it. It also can't find assert. I guess I have to grab assert from the standard library. So let's find that really quick. I can't find it. Oh, well, that just took me back where I was before. Maybe it's in the testing. Yeah, there's asserts. And I'm sure that all that assert does is just calls, like throws an error if it is falsy. So I'll come over here and say if diagnostics does not equal null. I don't know why it's a single equals instead of a double equals, but I'll just roll with it. Then throw new error, error bundling browser bundle. That should do it. And then for why it wasn't able to access the Deno global, I don't know. Oh, these are unstable features, so I have to use the unstable flag. Yeah, I just have to pass that command line flag, and then I should be able to use it just fine. So let's just say we're a little unstable. There, it compiled, I guess. Reload this. It didn't work again because it cannot resolve the module. Interesting. It looks like it's not able to do relative imports here. It's doing an absolute import based on the root. So I should be able to do react-demo/browser.tsx, and that should work just fine. So now we rerun that, reload that, and it freaks out again because there was some error. Cool. Let's console log the diagnostics. I have no idea what diagnostics is, but we can console log it really quick. Run that again, reload, reload, and it's going to tell me what the problem was. Can't find the namespace React, which is fine. I almost should guess that. And then it can't find name document. So because I'm accessing document.body. So I guess what I need to do is pass in some something to my compiler, to my bundle command, to tell it that I'm targeting the browser, and then I can just get rid of this react.fc. I don't need that. It's not doing anything for me. It'd be cool if I could actually like use proper React typing, but it's chill. I can live without it. Let me run that again just to see what happens. And while that's happening, so other complaint went away. I'm guessing this is a TypeScript error, so TypeScript error that. Okay, so it is correct. I need to make sure that it has the DOM lib compatibility layer in place. So I will take a look at this again. Options argument set. So let's see. I just need to read this. I can optionally add sources and optionally add options. Deno will also, okay. The options argument is a set of options of type deno.compiler